Coming up on Hoge Jahns, the divisional round, Bears and Rams. We got a special guest to help set the table for the week. Cole Kmet, Bears tight end, gracious enough to join us on Hoge Jahns today. We got numbers to think about. Start breaking down the Rams a little bit as well. Hoge Jahns starts right now. What's up? Welcome in. Hoge Jahns back with you. Presented by Old National Bank. Every play matters, whether it's on the field or in your financial life. The best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Johnsy Bears looking for another result this week to keep the season alive.
We get to talk about our first divisional round playoff game by the Chicago Bears in a long, long time, Adam. That's awesome.
Yes, since before the show ever existed.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, it's the first one we've ever covered.
True. Also
15
true.
years. So yeah, a lot of excitement in the city. We all feel it. It's awesome. Also, a lot of snow in the city this morning. I almost pulled the Ring camera footage of my son trying to walk to the bus this morning in a legitimate blizzard. So I'll just pull it and text it to Sean McVay. Just let him know.
Only in Chicago can we go from 55 degrees and sunny on a nice Tuesday afternoon where the sun is literally out and it feels great. Yeah. To a morning snowstorm where there's an inch of snow in your car on the way to school.
You're right. And it was like a legit blizzard as well. By the way, if you're wondering, the high in Woodland Hills, California today, where the Rams practice, is 80 degrees. And it is there will not be a single cloud in the sky today. So good luck with that acclimation to the weather.
Get those ice boxes out. I don't know what you do. I don't know how you simulate it.
You really can't. I happened to be in the car last night going to James's basketball practice, and Bill Belichick was on Sirius XM doing his Let's Go pod with Jim Gray. And that was the last question that he was asked was like how big of a deal actually is this situation with the weather with the Rams and Bears? He's like, it's 100% a huge deal. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, they can't simulate that in practice. And he's like, he essentially was like, I don't care who's played in cold weather before. Like, you've been practicing all year in that weather. You're living in that weather. It's 100%. The cold temperature will affect the passing game, throwing, catching especially. And then he's like, and if it's windy, and it looks like it's going to be windy, that will definitely affect the kicking game. And if it's above 15 miles an hour, this was Belichick talking now, it's above 15 miles an hour, that's when it starts impacting the passing game. And it looks like 15 to 20s, 25 that's what they're talking about right now. So I know maybe we're already guilty of talking about the weather a little bit too much this week, but I don't know. I think it's a good thing for the Bears. It certainly doesn't seem like it's a bad thing.
And here's the thing: that win could be there the first quarter, disappear for the entire second quarter, and then be there for the last 5 minutes of the game. That's how unpredictable that wind, I should say, in the lakefront can be.
And there's a head coach here now who just doesn't really seem to care what the weather is. He's standing out there in a hoodie and a hat, and I don't know what's in that blood of his, but he apparently doesn't get cold at all. Ben Johnson, which I should also mention off the top, if you didn't hear I think on the podcast version, you don't actually hear the cold open we do. Cole Kmet's on the show today. So let me get that out there for you. If you haven't already seen it out there on social media, Cole, very gracious with his time on the off day. We recorded it yesterday with him, but it's 30 minutes. It's phenomenal, as Cole usually is. But obviously for a guy that grew up here and knows about the rivalry with the Packers and the playoff drought and all that, it was awesome to talk to Cole, after the Bears' first playoff win in a long, long time. So That's coming up here in just a couple minutes. We did want to talk, though, about that head coach, Ben Johnson, and how he's captivated the city, what he already has proven to be. And I know, Johns, you have some thoughts.
Well, I got caught going down the wormhole. That could be the comment section, but this is a good comment section. This is
careful doing that. I'm proud of you.
But this is the CHGO Bears episode after the Packers game. You know, the Bears won 31-27. It's an amazing game. Over 100,000 people watched our show on YouTube, which is absolutely amazing. Hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't yet. So I want to see what the feedback is. And this comment about Ben Johnson struck me. I want to bring it up to you. I want your thoughts because I think this commenter, D-Reet 780, nails something here.
He's a great guy, that D-Reed 780.
So D-Reet 780, if you're listening to this, I'm about to read your comment from the show that went to, what time did that show finish? 1 a.m?
So this was our post-game show, the CHGO Bears
show, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't Hoge Jahns. I think
I think it was one of these episodes. Anyway, I mean, I'm looking at the video. Like, here's the screen grab. It's all you guys up there. Okay. Here's the comment, and I quote: Ben Johnson is the embodiment of Chicago. He was made to be a Chicago Bears football coach. He's brash, in your face, unapologetic, fight comes with it type of guy. That's the Chicago attitude. If you've ever been there, then you know what I'm talking about. I've been there. I live here. This is my hometown. And he is absolutely right. She's absolutely right. Whoever D-Reet 780 is absolutely right about this. I'm come around to this idea that, you know, like this is actually more than meaningful. Like this is something. This is how you endear yourself to the city. It's swearing about the Packers. It's taking your shirt off. It's feeding the city of Chicago hot dogs. So what do you think of this?
He's the closest thing to Mike Ditka that the Bears have had since Mike Ditka. I don't think there's any question about it. I think there was an argument for this even earlier in the season. But I think especially, have you seen that clip going on around? I think it was Paul Horning talking about the rivalry between George Halas and Vince Lombardi, you know, and how Halas knocked on the door of the locker room like right before the game. Like equipment manager opened the door and was like, "I'd like to talk to Coach Lombardi, please." And this was like 5 minutes for the game, and he comes to the door, and he's basically like, "You guys better be ready because we're about to kick your ass." I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember, but it was essentially that's the story. And so the point of that is like that's what this used to be. That's what this in a lot of ways should be. Like I know the world is changing and there's a lot of sensitivities out there, and that's great. But I also think that there's room for sports to be sports, right? And sportsmanship's important too. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's okay when we're at the highest level, the highest stakes, the highest rivalries, that, you know, it's okay to say the F word. You know what I mean? Like
that's what like surprised me, like about some of the criticism of Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, do you not know the history of the Chicago Bears? Mike Ditka. The 85 Bears team probably swore more. Like, what's the best way to describe it? Like, every other word was probably a swear word when those guys were practicing against each other. And those are legends in this town, and they won the Super Bowl. George Halas, Jack Silverstein, our friend of the show. Like, go to his timeline and check out all the Halas Lombardi stuff. Like, George Halas had a potty mouth too, but that's what made him great. That's what made him special. A lot of these great coaches have that. So, like, I understand, like, Kyle Brandt did a segment about, like, Ben Johnson's not here to raise your children.
I actually saw that this morning. I saw that clip come across my feed.
And I get it. You want to teach sportsmanship and all that. But you know what? As someone who coaches kids, one thing that I'm seeing is you also have to teach these kids how to compete sometimes. Like, I'm serious about this. They're on their iPads a lot. You know, they're not as aggressive as they used to be, at least kids and players I've coached, and getting them to compete. That's another thing. So Sometimes it takes a swear word to fire a few guys up. We're going to ask Cole Kmet about this a little bit. I guarantee you his reaction to it was positive.
That reminds me. Did you happen to see that viral video of those two mite hockey teams brawling?
Yes.
Now I couldn't tell. I never looked up the backstory of that, and I don't know if that was staged
That
or
felt
what was
staged the way it was going. Although the goalie completely destroyed a kid.
Well, my son plays hockey, so I showed him that video, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm not encouraging this, but just so you know, like, I just wanted to see his reaction." And he was just like, his eyes were like, "What?" And I'm like, it was hilarious though when the two kids that were wearing the same blue jerseys started like wailing at each other. I'm like, you guys are on the same team. Stop fighting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
look, football is not a nice sport. In its most intrinsic level, it is violent. It takes a certain attitude to be successful playing it. And I appreciate that Ben Johnson is willing to go out there and be old school, swear a little bit, fire the guys up, because I think it's missed and it's definitely needed for the Chicago Bears.
And that's why I brought up the Hard Knocks thing the other day too. I think based on what we've seen, I feel like there also is a little bit of a shift within the organization too, to kind of embrace that hard-nosed, more Ditka-like era, George Halas-like era than maybe the Bears have been since they fired Ditka. You know what I mean? And they kind of got sort of stuck in, and Lovie Smith won a lot of games too, and he never cursed, and that's okay too. Like, this isn't really about that, but I think most fans listening to this kind of understand what we're talking about. And Ben Johnson being this getting back to the comment, Ben being this hard-nosed, like, he just fits Chicago. It really does. And everybody's embracing it right now for good reason.
Brash, in your face, that type of attitude. It's what you want out of your sports franchises, particularly your football team, right?
All right. Let's do this. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we're going to bring in Cole Kmet. Cole, another Chicago guy, true and true, and somebody who is obviously very happy that Ben Johnson is here and enjoying the success and the winning. It's all good. Cole, I'm telling you, this interview is great. We got to know a lot of different things. His relationship Caleb's relationship with Ben Johnson, some of that, a lot of fun stuff too. The origin of why they wore blue on blue uniforms. I enjoyed that conversation, Johnsy. That was actually super interesting. So on the other side of this timeout, don't go anywhere because Cole Kmet joins the show. But first, Johnsy, what if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and lets you stream the game, even when your 18 kids are all on their devices at the same time. You got to still be able to stream the game. Of course, all your devices work in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part is there's no annual contracts. There's no hidden fees. And Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from us here at Hoge Jahns. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are suddenly in reach, potentially. Records have been broken. We're going to talk about one of those records here in a second. Dreams grow bigger. Everybody's dreaming big right now, as they should be. But your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. So lock in your price, unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply.
Adam, if you're like me, you're spending a lot of time in your car, driving one kid from one baseball practice to a basketball game, back to a workout. I feel like I live in my car. That's why, the free Upside app comes in handy. The free Upside app helps you earn extra cash back on things you're already doing, like filling up at the pump, grabbing dinner on the go. I do that a lot. And making more and more trips to the grocery store. Literally did that yesterday. With Upside, you're keeping more in your pocket during the season you spend the most. And yes, it's cash back. Over $1 billion given back to users so far. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring that cash back is always just around the corner. And yes, it's cash back. So the Upside back is giving back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code Hoge Jahns to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code Hoge and Jahns.
All right, Cole Kmet. Unless I'm forgetting something, Johnsy, I feel like we've done some interviews with Cole maybe in the locker room, but I don't know that we've actually had him on the podcast in this type of setting since
before the draft.
Before he was drafted.
Yeah. It's the last time.
Was I on this before the draft? Because I don't remember that if I was.
Well, obviously we didn't do our jobs very well. You were probably, I'm guessing, on an actual media tour, and so it was probably one of like 20 interviews you did.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, like 2 weeks, maybe a week before the draft. It was shortly before the draft. You were on this show, Hoge Jahns, before CHGO even existed.
Well, I'm glad to be back then. This is although I don't remember my first time or the questions that you guys might have asked, I'm glad to be back.
There might have been some Catholic League questions.
I'm sure there were.
I'm
sure there were. A lot has evolved since then, I think. So I don't know if that was when they first did the Catholic League or not, but I feel like a lot has changed since 2020.
I mean, a million things have changed. I can't even keep up with that. They're expanding the playoffs next year. Everybody's getting in. Not everybody, but it feels like it. I don't even know anymore. It's hard to keep up with.
And I would say a lot's changed since you've been drafted too, Cole.
Yeah, a lot. There's been a lot of different things, countless things. Yeah. So, no, it's been good, and obviously super excited about where we're at the moment, and excited for what's to come. That's for sure. So I'm sure we'll get into it.
So let me begin with this. What resonated most with the locker room? Ben Johnson taking off his shirt in Philadelphia, or Ben Johnson screaming "F the Packers" the other night?
I think equally the same. I mean, that's how we know him, and that's how we see him. Obviously, a super emotional guy in front of us, and I think a lot of people get fooled sometimes about what they might see on TV with him on the sideline, because he's so stoic and doesn't really react to much as to what's going on. But I think deep down he's truly an emotional guy, and we feel like, he's kind of one of us in that sense. Our team plays with a lot of emotion and a lot of passion, and he's kind of the reason for that. So whenever you kind of see him let it loose after the game and after a win, it's always a cool moment. And obviously the good, better, best stuff is great to be part of, and kind of our like rallying cry, if you will, at this point. And that's been a lot of fun to be part of. But yeah, him taking off the shirt in Philly was a little unexpected, but cool to see. Got us hyped up. And then obviously him saying we said after the game, after the Packers. I mean, that's just how we feel, and that's how we treat that week, and how we feel about them. And look, that's how they feel about us too. So I think the NFL is a better place when the Bears and the Packers are in a heated rivalry, as we are right now. And I'm sure everyone was highly entertained. And at the end of the day, this is the entertainment business.
So knowing you, Cole, you are, some players say they don't see everything. Some players do say they don't see it. And then some players are just like, yeah, I see everything. You really don't see a lot of stuff that's out there. Like, you're not really on Twitter. You truly don't.
Yeah, like I get stuff obviously sent to me, and there's stuff that's impossible to not see and react to. I would say like the gritty, nitty details of Twitter, I learned to stay away from after like my second year. Like, okay, it's just like a cesspool of people that are nameless or are named or going by like their gamer tag that like I can't even deal with. But no, like I'm on Instagram and I see some stuff here and there, but I'll see some things, but for the most part, I try to remove myself as much as I can.
Well, so where I'm going with this is I'm wondering how the communication went last week, because clearly we learned after the game, you guys were all well aware of the stuff that was coming out of the Packers locker room and some of the things that were said. So like, how did that come about? Was it like literally bulletin board material. Like it was brought up and used as motivation because nobody, including your head coach, really shied away from it when the game was over.
Yeah, I think coach and a few guys had brought it up early in the week, and I hadn't seen it at that point. So then I quickly checked it out after the meeting, and you see some things that they're saying about obviously how they wanted to play us and this and that, and yeah, I mean you take those things in, and you kind of use that as some fuel during the week for sure, and kind of just made the matchup that much more exciting going into the game, and we knew how, obviously everyone knows how we felt about them at the end of the game, and I'm sure how they feel about us. And it was a great feeling to send them home and send them packing to wherever their vacation spots are going to be here this upcoming week.
I'm guessing somewhere warmer than Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
or Chicago, Illinois, where, the Rams will have to acclimate to the 10-degree weather.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
What was it like seeing Caleb Williams get the game ball, but not only get the game ball, give it back to Ben Johnson after that Packers win?
Yeah, it was awesome. Obviously, I'm sure emotional for those two guys, and they spent a lot of time together, and there's been a lot of work between those two since April. And Caleb has put a ton of work in, and the transformation from him as a professional from year one to now has just been awesome to see, and to see him the way that he's matured and taken a hold of this offense and this team, and be the leader that we need him to be. It has been awesome. And then obviously Ben's instilled a lot of those things in him in terms of the expectations every day and what's needed every day at practice, despite the result of the previous week. And I think Caleb has done a really good job of handling that, owning that, and delivering when we've needed him the most. So that was a really cool moment. And obviously those two spend a lot of time together, and I know Caleb really values that relationship. So that was that was really special to see in front of the whole team, and really in front of the whole organization.
So I'm going to pivot from something like that's sentimental and probably matters a lot, even in the long term, to something that probably doesn't matter as much. But I am curious, what went into wearing the blue on blue uniforms last week? Because that came out of nowhere for us, and I don't know if you're probably not, or I don't know if it came up at all. But the history
Adam
of the
hated
Bears,
it.
I don't hate the look. The Bears are 0-4 all time wearing blue on blue against the Packers. So I was like, I don't know if this is the right mojo to learn about right before the game. So I need a little bit more information on how this all happened.
That's funny. That's funny you say that. So I was planning out my week. You pack your cleats on Friday for the equipment staff to bring it to Soldier, and so there's usually a few sets of cleats you just leave behind because I'm not taking 5-6 pairs of cleats to the stadium. It just clogs up the locker too much. So what uniform you're going to be wearing. Obviously, we're at home, and I thought it would just be the normal blue top, white pants, and then we show up to the stadium, and I'm about to put on, the first thing I do is I put on like a workout suit because I do a pregame workout about 2.5 hours before the game. And they had the white tights, and I was like, where are the blue? Usually it's paired with the blue tights with the white pants. And sure enough, I looked, I'm like, oh, we're in all blue today. I'm like, that is badass. I think the all blue should be the home uniform, period, in general. That's my favorite uniform. I don't buy into stuff of the past, meaning like, oh, we're 0-4 in this jersey versus this team. Like, I don't buy into that stuff. If you do, like, that's fine. That's just to me, that doesn't
stuff. Keep saying it, Cole.
Like, to me, that like that doesn't, like, I'm not a superstitious person. Like, I don't believe in that stuff. I don't I don't buy into any of that. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. And if we
not anymore,
right? Not anymore. Yeah. My point is, like, if you were to drop that game or win that game, like, it wasn't because of the blue jerseys. It's usually because of how you actually executed on the football field. That being said, we showed up, and a lot of guys hadn't played. The last time we wore them was at the end of 2022 against Minnesota was the last time we wore the all blues, and so most of the guys in the locker room had not worn the all blues yet. And when we got there, I was pretty excited about it. Some of the other guys got pretty juiced about it. The only thing I was a little upset about was like I wish I had a different pair of cleats for the game, but yeah. But now I'm going to prepare like we're wearing all blue this week. I have no idea if we are or not, but nonetheless, I was pretty excited about it.
Well, you just said you're not superstitious, so maybe this isn't the right response, but I feel like now you have to.
Yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, like I don't know if that's the right idea, but I think you should just because I think it looks the best. I think it looks slick, and I think guys look fast with all blue, and I think it's a good look. But I think at the end, I think ownership makes that decision, and we'll see what threads are pulling out. We're pulling out on Sunday.
Do you have any more uniform questions, Adam?
No,
but people should know that George does really care about the uniforms.
He does. He
style and stuff like he's not even kidding. Like that's
no. George is the first one to notice. Like if there's been a few guys, like if you're new, they don't feel like wearing the stripes and the socks, they're getting notified ASAP. And you got Team Med at your locker saying, "Hey, homeboy, put the stripes on."
I wanted to bring up the broadcast, Amazon's broadcast, like captured Caleb Williams on the sideline a bit, like the fiery side of Caleb Williams that I don't think we've seen yet, really well at all. Just that adamant about mistakes on the field and whatnot. Like, what did you see and hear from Caleb Williams on the sideline, and what did you think of him showing leadership that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, obviously in those high leverage, high emotional situations in the playoffs, you're going to get that coming out of you. Everyone's got to be at their best when their best is required. And obviously there was a few moments there early in the game where Caleb didn't really feel like, and I agree with him that, we were executing to our fullest potential. And, he was just kind of letting it out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes people get in their feelings about how the quarterback or how the head coach or a coach might react to a player. At the end of the day, it's all about winning, and that's all that we care about. And that's what's in the spirit of. So, no, it was good to see. I think it got me fired up. I thought it was cool. And obviously it helped in the second half.
It's kind of funny because Ben, after the game was kind of more like, we talk about this, him and Caleb, and I think he ideally would prefer Caleb to be more like him and more stoic on the sidelines during the game and not necessarily screaming. But then when he came back and talked to us on Monday, and I think after he'd seen all the film and maybe some of those mistakes that were going on out there, he's like, well, sometimes you need your quarterback and have that accountability on the field, which is really where I'm going with this, because I know when you and I were doing our shows last year, that came up a lot, and I just – the level of accountability that this coaching staff has brought this year, but something that we always talked about with you and you talked about was how you got to have that between each other, how the players got to have that too. How much has that difference between, player on player accountability between you guys been different this year and really helped you guys, reach the point where you're still playing football in mid-January?
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. And it's not necessarily a thing where you get in each other's ear all the time. I think that's like maybe the thought, and that happens every once in a while. But I think from starting with the coaching staff, everyone understands what everyone's assignment is and what you're expected to do on a play. Whereas, maybe in my past, that's sometimes been gray. You don't really know what someone's supposed to do, how it's supposed to be done. But that's very vocalized from the coaching staff to the players. So everyone knows, hey, this is how you run this route. Hey, this is the track of the backs. Hey, this is the tight end's aiming point on this run scheme. And I think that really, when everyone understands that and understands the assignment of each player, it kind of instills that accountability naturally. So when, I'm going to watch the film, or Caleb's going to go watch the film, or Joe Tooney's going to go watch the film, he understands, and we all can look at it and see, who was off on a play or who was wrong on a play. And there's just kind of that innate understanding of what went wrong, and not that it's on purpose or anything, we're all out here trying our hardest, but it just makes everyone level up their game a little bit more. And I've kind of felt that week to week, we've inched that up more and more as the season has gone on. And I think that's why things have kind of gone our way here so far this season.
How much of that is an extension of Ben himself, is his style? Like, he's the one installing the run game, which I find very unique as opposed to like previous coordinators, like, and how detailed he is. Like Tyson Bagent told me the other day in the locker room that Ben does a good job keeping his assistant coaches accountable, or he feels that amongst the staff. Like, I don't know, did you see that too? And to my first question, like everything you just said, how much is that Ben coming through and everything?
Yeah, I think that's where it starts. And like for me, I think the biggest thing is him doing the run game. It's my first time I've had a play caller do the run game. Usually that's passed off to the offensive line coach or a run game coordinator, someone else, or in our case it would be like maybe, Declan does it or, whatever. But the head coach is coming up in front of you for the first base install of the week, for the base run install, telling you the run plan. And he is jacked up about his run plan. He's excited about it. He's excited about the plan for the week. And he wants to feel the enthusiasm in the room amongst the players about, what he's putting up on the board. And I think it instills an accountability level across the board from the quarterback to the offensive line, to the tight ends, to the running backs, all the way out to the wide receivers as to what's expected on these run plays and in these run schemes. And I think it really does start there, and it kind of just trickles down to everything else. But when we're all in the room together and he's going over that run install, we know that's going to be the foundation of the week and the foundation of really who we are as an offense.
Well, how about when they install one of these plays where you're supposed to throw the ball? I mean, how excited do you get in that moment? And take us through the what seemed to be on the film the very correct decision to hold on to that one and just take what you could, because he maybe popped open late, but it looked a little dicey.
Yeah, it was a little dicey. It kind of slowed down for me when you have the ball back there and you kind of seeing how the defense is unfolding. No, but it's always exciting to have like one of those trick plays. And obviously, the play caller's got to have trust in you to make the right decision. And obviously Ben has enough trust in me with the ball in my hands as a thrower to decide whether to let it rip or not. But funny enough, the 49ers ran the same exact play with Juwan Jennings and Christian McCaffrey, just on the other side, because Juwan Jennings is a righty and I'm a lefty. But when I was rolling out to the left, first it was covered up by the backer. Colston popped, was about to throw it, but felt the safety really closing in on the other side. And I didn't want to mess with that, especially that early in the game. So just decided to tuck and run it, get what I could. I think I got like a yard on it, but nonetheless, live to fight another day. And I think I made the right decision. Like you said, you could argue that I could have ripped it in there, maybe back shouldered the ball, but no reason for me to try and do that in a playoff game in that situation.
Now, does the quarterback room chime in on that at all? Like, does Caleb say, I don't know, I would have ripped that, or does Tyson or Case Keenum or anybody?
No. Are you kidding me? I mean, Caleb can outthrow me, but I'm very confident that if we were just doing a long toss, I could outthrow Tyson and Case. So,
wow.
Yeah, I have no problem saying that right here. But Caleb would be tough. Caleb's obviously got a freaking hose, but I think those two I could outthrow if we were doing a long toss. So no, I don't want to hear it from him. I don't want to hear it.
Fair enough. Well, how about so speaking of incredible throws, the 4th and 8.
Yeah.
Which I think will end up being a throw that's, remembered forever in the history of this franchise. You were on the sideline. I couldn't help but notice watching the film that I don't know if everybody on the sideline was just completely stunned, but like really the only person I saw react was Case Keenum. Like, what was going on in your head and on the sideline as that play unfolded and somehow was completed to Rome Odunze?
Yeah, well, the play before 4th and 3, and we had a false start, so it backed us up. And you're kind of like, oh man, now we just made it a little bit harder on ourselves in 4th and 8. Down, we were still down 2 scores at that point. And I mean, Caleb rolls to his left and makes like this Jordan-esque type of looking posture and throw to Rome. And when he lets go of it, you're like, where is he throwing this football? And I mean, sure enough, it was on the money. But I mean, I think one of probably the best throw I've seen live, especially given the circumstance, and to keep the game alive and to keep us breathing there at the end. And then, obviously ending up with a touchdown there. And ultimately leading to a victory. Just an unbelievable throw, and something I'll always remember watching, and I'm sure everyone here in Chicago will remember watching. So it's just some of the stuff that we've seen since he's gotten here, and now him being able to put it in game action and in the playoffs is just it's so special to watch, and it's really cool to be part of.
I think we all know that Colston is playing some great football right now. His numbers show that. But what's your evaluation of his dance moves?
Elite. I think the dance is elite. I mean, it's I think we were saying that should be his touchdown dance forever. Like that's your touchdown dance. I think that's pretty unique to him. I haven't seen anybody else do anything like that, especially at someone of like our size. Like to be able to kind of move like that as a with the dance moves is pretty good. I know for sure I couldn't do that. So it's fun to watch. But I mean, Colston, man, he's been really dominant, these past 3-4 games, and it's been awesome to see him grow into the weapon that he is now. I mean, you go back to camp and where he was then to where he is now, and he was talented then, and just to see him, he's gotten better every single week. And obviously everyone sees him with the ball in his hands and how he does that, but I mean, the run game, he's been great, and just every facet of his game, he's just improved and improved and improved. And I mean, I have no problem saying I think he's one of the, if not the best pass catching tight end right now in the league. I mean, you really watch what he's putting on tape in 3rd down, 4th down, critical situations, man to man, being able to find the zones. He's been really good, and I know he's been a huge safety blanket for Caleb here down the stretch.
So, well, speaking of tight ends, this is kind of like the tight end bowl this weekend against the Rams. They run as much 13 personnel as anyone, and you guys have been doing your 13 thing all year. I mean, I know you're not going up against their offense, but just the tight ends in the spotlight this weekend, hopefully in this game on both sides, because honestly, both of these teams stacked with tight ends. And it's really fun just to watch from an offensive standpoint when you're studying, what Sean McVay does and what Ben Johnson's obviously doing with you guys. Yeah,
I mean, watching their offense this year on crossover tape has been fun. They got obviously, the rookie Ferguson's good. Kobe Parkinson is a hell of a tight end. Higbee is great. I mean, they got a really great room over there, and how they use those guys has been awesome to watch. And similar to us, it just gives you a lot of advantages in both the run and the pass game, and can really mess with defensive personnels. And based on what you see on tape in terms of, hey, when you run 12 out there, are they in nickel or are they in base? There's a list of plays that the play caller can get to based on what they're in, and usually it's an advantage for the offense side of the ball. So it presents a lot of difficulty for the defense. And you see obviously Coach McVay and over in LA take advantage of that, and then obviously we've taken advantage of that throughout the year. So it's fun. It's fun to be in that type of offense and big personnel and create all those matchups within the run and pass game. And I think it's no secret why the two teams are here at this point. It's because they use a lot of tight ends.
There you go.
Well, I think we saw that like on the 2-point conversion to Colston. Like you guys go out there and have 13 personnel, but also Theo Bennett is out there as well, right?
Yeah. So I mean, now we start in a condensed and we split out, and you're able to get a favorable matchup against a backer, and who we view as like almost a receiver like player in Colston, and we'll take that matchup 10 out of 10 times. So I think that, I mean, those are the ones that you see, Adam, but there's other situations like in the run game. I go back to the one in when we were playing New York, and I come in as I motion in as a fullback, and now all of a sudden I'm leaning up against a nickel. Like that's not an advantage for the defense. So that's why I'm saying both run and pass, you're really able to get some really good advantages there if you scheme it up correctly. So there's just a lot of ways to go about it. And I view, obviously I'm biased, but the tight end is like the Swiss Army knife of an offense in terms of being able to do a lot of different things. And it's definitely been advantageous for us this year.
Johns, didn't you say on the show the other day that linebacker, that was his only defensive snap of the season?
Nick Neiman, yeah, from Sycamore, Illinois, Cole.
Oh, he's from Sycamore? No way.
From Sycamore, yeah. His only defensive snap all year.
Like even Ben
Poor guy.
Johnson couldn't have known that. I mean, right? Like that's just but it was incredible design.
Yeah,
and
no, I mean,
really
I
cool
split
to
out.
see.
I split out on my side, and I was like, oh, poor dude.
You were on
over there.
you were on the field too for the DJ Moore touchdown, right?
Yeah, I was playing right tackle on that.
You were right tackle because they put Darnell right on the left, and he runs out like he's going for to
first
take out
screen.
a
Yeah.
cornerback.
So you get the cell, and then DJ and Colston are right behind him. So well timed up play, and something that you view as like, oh, it's just a screen and go, but like the way it was schemed up by Ben and used in that situation. Pretty awesome. I think that's like such cool stuff.
So be honest, are you checking your phone this week, looking at the weather, just like, come on, let's get this temperature as low as possible for this game?
I am. I checked it and I couldn't believe I only checked on Sunday, and then I woke up today, and usually like I have the car starter app on my for my truck, and I've been doing that like in the winter once it starts getting cold, and I'll turn the car on early just so it warms up a little bit. And so this morning I did that before going in the facility, and I walk outside. I'm like, it's beautiful out. It's like 50.
Yeah.
How is it going to be -5 on Sunday? So, I mean, that's just Chicago weather for you in a nutshell. But no, I'm excited about it. Us in the offensive line, we were talking about, we want it as cold as possible. I don't care if they come out early or not to try and get acclimated. If you're not living in this, like kind of how we have really for the past month and a half, it's really hard to adjust to the cold weather. And, there's certain things that you got to do in terms of attire and getting ready for the game. And that it's going to be difficult for them. So I definitely view it as an advantage for us. And hopefully those temperatures just keep dropping and dropping as the game goes on.
Cole, before we let you go, I'm going to go full Pat Finley mode right now to conclude this interview. How did the Packers-Bears rivalry play out in the household? Of course, with your sister Lucas Van Ness. He had a good game.
Yeah,
I thought he had a pretty good game. But how does that play out after the game?
I don't know if I should say that. I mean, I'm just gonna say she called me after. It was like 3 a.m, and we're on a phone call. My wife, her, and myself are just. Because I can't go to sleep after a game like that, and she's talking. She was Cole. She was like, I was damn happy that you guys won. So she was pulling for the Bears. She was pulling for the Bears. She was happy to see Lucas get a sack, but was happy that we pulled it out in the end.
Awesome.
Has that dynamic changed at all this year though? Because all of a sudden this rivalry feels a lot different. Like just between the teams, it's like feels like a rivalry now. When last year when we were talking about this stuff, it didn't really feel that way. So
I don't acknowledge it as much now anymore. I know like in years past, like you talk about it as a rivalry, but when you really haven't won in those games, it kind of loses its steam a little bit. But now it's really now it has definitely picked up a little bit. I'll say that.
That's got to be so unique. So I'm one of 3 brothers, and whenever our little sister would bring a boyfriend over, we would give him a hard time about anything and everything. And here's another NFL player coming into the household. That's got to be something.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, he really is a great dude, though. So, like, I think at first, me and my other brothers, like, you try and give him a little bit of crap, but you soon find out, like, he's a great dude, and like at the end of the day, like, we're mature enough. We're not fans. Like, this is our job, and we go about it in a professional manner, and then when we are family at the end of the day. So we kind of let bygones be bygones once the season's over.
Cole, really appreciate your time during the playoff week, and I know you guys will get back to work tomorrow in the facility. We'll see you there, but I think I could speak on behalf of everybody listening and watching this. The city's on fire right now. Everybody can feel it. So I think everybody appreciates you coming on and popping on with us today and doing this. And go get another week added onto the season. All right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. It's been fun. It's been a fun run, and obviously we want to keep it going. The fans, shout out to the fans. You guys have been absolutely outstanding. you guys were much better when we were on offense this past week. I'll say a huge improvement from a few weeks ago. So big time stuff there. And then when you guys screaming your ass off when they're when the opposing offense is on the field. So we're excited about this one upcoming Sunday. Atmosphere should be electric, and let's go get win number 2 in this postseason.
All right, well said. Hopefully you remember this interview.
Yes, I will. I'll for sure remember this one. I won't forget this one. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you at House. Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Adam, it's a new year. It means new big goals, but I still have no time to cook. That's why Factor is here. Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without shopping or cooking. Quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole ingredients, and healthy fats. There's no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no refined seed oils. Adam, it's healthy. There are so many different options. They have salmon, shrimp. You've heard me rave about their steak options. My son, my 8-year-old son, absolutely loves them. He comes looking for them every time he comes home from school. So check them out. Factor is always fresh, never frozen. It's ready in about 2 minutes. So head to factormeals.com/CHGO50 off and use code CHGO50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor.
I got a new Factor box coming Sunday. Can't wait. And I always like my Mack Weldon pants especially are perfect for us. Look, we give up comfort every day. Don't let style be another reason. Mack Weldon's Ace collection makes it effortless to look put together while feeling truly comfortable at the same time. You can upgrade your collection for the new year with new bomber jackets, half zips, sweats, crew necks, and more at MackWeldon.com. You'll get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with code All City. With the Ace line, the ease and self-assurance has never been more comfortable. Crazy comfortable, but elevated sweatpants, shorts, sweatshirts. They even got blazers for you if you're lucky enough to grab one while they are in stock. Seriously, the blazer, it looks like a blazer, but it feels like a sweatshirt. Get lost in comfort with the half zips, pullover hoodies. We love hoodies here on this show. They also got crew necks. Mack Weldon's Ace collection. It's comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com. You get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with promo code AllCity. That's MackWeldon.com, code AllCity. All right. And John Z, it is that time here on this Wednesday, although we're going to call it a little different this week. It's our Checking It Out segment, sponsored by Old National Bank. Every play matters, whether it's on the field or in your financial life. The best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. But we're still doing the same thing. We're just checking out our numbers to think about this week. Our producer, Katie Langen, coming in here to give us the important numbers this week. Hello, Katie.
Hi, guys. Okay, first one, the Bears' wild card win over the Packers was their 7th win in 2025 when trailing in the final 2 minutes of regulation, setting a new benchmark in NFL history. This is 2 more such wins than any other team in a season, including playoffs, since 1983.
So I've been thinking a lot about this because the argument against the Bears winning this way is that it's never sustainable. So let me phrase it like this. Do you know what's sustainable, Adam? When you have a quarterback who plays well in clutch moments and who always gives you a chance to win, regardless of how ugly the game may be early on. Like Patrick Mahomes, he's like that. Josh Allen, you're still seeing that. He's like that. That's why I feel like the Bears and the Bills, maybe that'll be a fun Super Bowl matchup. Caleb Williams does that. I think that's sustainable because that's how Caleb Williams is. Not all quarterbacks have that trait. Not all quarterbacks are able to produce in those key moments, but Caleb Williams is showing this year that he can do that.
100%. And the thing is going through the film, he actually wasn't that bad in the first half. It wasn't phenomenal, but I still had him with like a +3 grade, which just means he had more good plays than bad plays. even at halftime. But when you look at the fourth quarter, Johns, he finished plus 22 for me. He had 6. I went through the quarterback report yesterday on CHGO, but he had 6 elite plays, that basically count for double, 17 good plays, and only 17 negative plays the entire game, and no catastrophic plays because both of those interceptions were, one of them was definitely not his fault. The second one, just things kind of went wrong, not really his fault, and he threw it up because it was fourth down. You don't really blame him for that. But what he did in the fourth quarter, elite play, no grade, good play, no grade, good play, elite play, no grade, good play, elite play, good play, elite play. That's how the game ended. I mean, that's if you want to dismiss everything what the Bears are doing this year because it's lucky and this is like, okay, but that quarterback is playing at an insane level at the end of the games. And last time I checked, that's how this league works.
Yeah. You know what that does? Like for a locker room, like just listen to his teammates talk about it. Like CJ Gardner-Johnson is on Twitter during the game talking about this. Like this isn't over yet. That's an intangible quality that becomes real because the production becomes real. And I'm sorry, like to me, that's a sustainable trait because I just feel like Caleb Williams has it. Not all quarterbacks do, but he does.
Yeah. All right, let's get through a few more numbers here.
Yeah, the last 2 are some stats on the defense. Montez Sweat recorded just 48 pressures and an 11.2% pressure rate in the 2025 regular season, both his worst marks since 2021, while he recorded a career-long 3.33 second time to pressure. But despite this low rate, Sweat generated a sack on 20.8% of his pressures in 2025, his highest rate since his rookie year season in 2019.
So basically, when he was pressuring, he was converting his sacks, which does matter. And yeah, I look. I know Ben has praised Montez, a lot at certain times. But I'm talking about like even before Saturday, at certain times. I have questioned that a little bit because I haven't really seen a guy that's commanding double teams that's really, at an elite level. But I'll tell you what, that fourth quarter on Saturday night, just like what we talked about with Caleb, on the other side of the ball, Montez Sweat came to play. He was a problem. And it was probably unlocked a little bit by the amount of blitzes that Dennis Allen was bringing and some of the stuff he was doing. But Montez took advantage of it, and he made a few run stops that were huge as well. So that game ball was more than deserved on Saturday night. They don't win that game without what Montez Sweat did in the fourth quarter, just like they don't win it without what Caleb did.
And I would say Austin Booker belongs in this conversation as well. We don't have the advanced numbers, but they helped close out the Packers. They did. You could feel it. The production isn't always there. Sometimes you have to give the Packers and Jordan Love some credit, but the Bears' best 2 pass rushers performed quite well when the Bears needed them to down the stretch against the Packers.
All right, last one.
Yep. When playing cover 3 this season, the Bears allowed the lowest passer rating, 64.8, and intercepted a league high of 10 passes. Despite their success, they've played cover 3 at a below average rate of 30.2%, while playing cover 2 at the 3rd highest rate of any team, 23%. Their 6 interceptions in cover 2 are tied for the most in the NFL, although they also allowed a league high of 6 touchdowns and a passer rating of 91.2, above the league average of 86.6.
So Dennis Allen has some curveballs.
Yeah.
Like we know he wants to play man. That's why Nashawn Wright is here. It's like we've talked at length about it. Al Harris has too, the Bears secondary coach. But I think the Bears did a good job, specifically against the Packers, mixing it up with the rush and coverage. And I think it confused Matt LaFleur specifically. He's on the record saying this Monday and Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday after the game. Like, they had a tough time figuring out Dennis Allen. And if I'm the Bears, I'm excited about the curveballs he could throw at Sean McVay as that game goes on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it on Friday, but I also like the fact that DeMarco Jackson's out there. I think that helps. However, I think we do need to have a discussion about some of the lack of linebacker depth all of a sudden, because they're pretty much one play away now from Ruben Hippolyte having to play significant minutes in a playoff game. And you drafted him in the 4th round. And it's funny because it's been next man ups, and they've been developing guys behind the scenes all year. So if that were to happen, I would be really curious to see what that looks like. I was just kind of thinking about that this morning as I was thinking about TJ Edwards' injury and where the linebacker room is. They did sign Jalen Reeves-Maybin to the active roster yesterday. And by the way, they're running out of numbers. Like, they're literally running out of numbers to give guys because they've had so many injuries this year and had to bring guys in. Extra lockers in the locker room. It's pretty impressive how they battled through all this stuff. All right, we got to get out of here. Please hit the like button on the way out. Hit subscribe if you're here for the first time. We got merch for you, as always, allchgo.com, the Hoge Jahns collection. New shirts came out, too, after the win over the Packers, just in our regular CHGO Bears collection as well. So you can check out all of that. We will be back on Friday for our full Bears-Rams preview episode. We'll make our picks. We'll talk about all the big storylines and matchups going into the game. If you happen to be watching on YouTube as this debuted today, CHGO Bears is coming up next if you click over to the CHGO channel. So check that out. As we will have Hallis Hall covered wall to wall today. A busy day over there with a bunch of players and Ben Johnson talking. So you know where to be all week long. CHGO, Hoge Jahns, we have you covered. We'll talk to you.